Well, new tonight, a Kalamazoo father is speaking out against the system following the death of his 3-year-old son. He is telling us his story for the first time on camera in hopes that his experience prompts change in how abuse cases are handled. Police say that his 3-year-old son, Dakota, was beaten to death by his mother's boyfriend. Tonight, the biological father is saying the death could have been prevented if he had known about the trouble in the past. 24-hour News 8's Heather Walker is working this story for us tonight. Heather, good evening.
Leon, we've dug up Child Protective Services records from Michigan and Tennessee and learned, according to a state watchdog, the state appears to have done everything by the book. The toddler's father says the rules need to change.
I feel like nobody's taking any of this seriously. You know, there was a kid beaten to death, and his father was never notified. I think this one down here may have been when we were taking him home from the hospital.
Tyler Arndt says he was with his son, Dakota, from the day he was born.
I cut his umbilical cord.
Until about 2.5 years later, when his then-girlfriend and mother of their child, Brianna Queckel, said she and Dakota were leaving for Tennessee. The next time he saw Dakota, he was in ICU and died 2 days later.
It just gives me the shakes sitting here thinking about it. I don't know how anybody in their right mind could ever put their hands on a child like that.
According to police in Tennessee, 3-year-old Dakota had deep bruising all over his body, a dislocated shoulder, and severe brain damage. Records show that investigators were also concerned the child was sexually abused. Arndt was notified by a friend and was able to go to the hospital and say goodbye. But he says he was never notified by police, child services, or the hospital. Arndt learned he was not contacted because they were never married, and an affidavit for parenting said Queckel had sole custody of the boy. Once they left, he says he was trying to get custody, but struggled to get help. Police charged the mother's boyfriend with the death. He was arrested, then committed suicide in jail. Queckel was in jail at the time of the child's death, serving a DUI sentence. We learned from court documents she was caught driving drunk with Dakota in the car in Kalamazoo. She recently had her 3rd child, which was taken to state custody because of Dakota's death.
I just hope this doesn't happen to any other children. I mean, I hope the state gets their head out of their ass and sees what's going on right before their face.
Last week, Queckel was charged with child endangerment because she failed to protect Dakota by leaving him in the care of her boyfriend, even though she knew about previous injuries. Queckel was bonded out. Live in studio, Heather Walker, 24-hour News 8.